I am the director of a community of practice that supports 114 STEM learning ecosystems across the United States and across the globe. And my job is not to support the entire ecosystem. My job is to support the leaders of those ecosystems by building their skill set, by building their capacity, by being a knowledge broker, by connecting and networking them to other people. And I'm saying that pretty eloquently today because that's the aha that I want to share with you. It is incredibly essential, in my personal opinion, that communities of practice, especially at a national level or at a collective level where you're trying to work together to advance STEM across a variety of spaces and places, or connecting a variety of cross-sector partners with different goals and strategies, that you really have to have a really thoughtful thing in your mind about what this looks like and what this does. And so in the communities of practice work, they talk about the importance of identifying three things: domain, community, and practice. And so I'm going to use my example, because I'm an example-based person in my everyday life, to kind of explain a little bit more about what I mean. So as the domain, my domain is that everything we do is around STEM learning or STEM education. I like to use the word STEM learning because I'm trying to break people out of the idea that STEM learning is just a K-12 or higher ed initiative, but that we are lifelong learners. So STEM learning, as well as workforce readiness and future ready. So that is our domain. That's what we talk about. That's what we get jazzed about. And I do. I get passionate and excited about it. So that's number one. My community is the 114 STEM ecosystem leaders. That's the community that I'm serving. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have other people, but they're my bullseye, right? Like, they're my people that I want to make sure feel supported, have voice, are empowered. And then lastly, my practices is how I do that business. So I said it earlier, I do it by connecting people with networking. I do it by identifying mentor kinds of relationships. I do it by knowledge brokering and sharing resources. And there's tons of strategies in all of those things. But here's the thing, I just use the word I an absolutely ridiculous amount of time, because the truth is if that you're thinking scalability, you're thinking sustainability, it's really a we conversation. And so that's what I'm working on. And I just said I again. Great. It's a red car effect. But I am working on that as a facilitator, as a supporter of this network space, as this national collaborative. What I'm working on from a social learning aspect is, how do I create the structures? How do I facilitate the strategies that allow people to say, I'm empowered to start a conversation, to start a work group, to start a practice group, to reach out to somebody else. So that's the work that I'm trying to do. And I really recommend that that's the work that we should all be trying to do when we're trying to define scalable and sustainable in the work that we're doing. Is what are the strategies? How are we putting the funding so that we're creating these tools and techniques and toolkits, or whatever it is, these resources that allow people to be able to be empowered to be a leader in the community. And if everybody's a leader in the community, my job is great, because like now my job is done. But that's kind of my whole belief set when we talk about national collaboratives, when we talk about the power of the collective we.